Shamu, everybody. We're going to start a little mini-series here. A little 5-part thing where we're going to talk about... Hey, Chaos, y'all are going to enjoy this. I'm going to talk about the models of magic. I'm going to be reading from a thing about it. These models were written and put forth by a very... These need to be rewrote, because the person who did it, very no good, and I will not even give them the benefit of naming them. Old head chaos know what's up here, if you know. We're not using the name. But he put forth 5 models of magic. There is the spirit model, the energy model, the psychological model, the information model, and the meta model. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the energy model. So, the rise of the energy model in the West is marked by the appearance of mesmerism towards the end of the 18th century. Anton Mesmer, he was not an occultist, but he was regarded to be some form of a miracle worker by his contemporaries. He claimed to have rediscovered many things, but for the purpose of our conversation, the ancient healing disciplines of hypnosis and magnetism. He popularized his theory of animal magnetism, which he saw as a subtle force that was inherent in all organisms. But he also made very heavy use of metal magnets for healing purposes. And Anton Mesmer would go on and seem to perform these miracles with this energy model, until the French Revolution put a temporary end to Mesmer's entire movement. But the ideas were not lost. They were picked up by many, many other people. Occultists started picking this up, who drew on them while developing their own theories of magic. One of the first people to do this was Bulwer Lytton of the Societas Rosicrucian in Anglica, the SRIA. The French Rosicrucians, essentially. He postulated the existence of a subtle energy, which he termed... I might get in trouble for using that word. V-R-I-L. Coming from the Latin virilis, or force, power, strength. This is not related to that kind of it. They did try to take the term. I am not talking on that. I do not associate with that. But we can observe parallels to this concept in vitalist theories of biology, which were emerging at the same time here. Everything having some form of a vital essence. There were other proponents of the energy model. It wasn't termed this then. The term comes later. But Reichenbach was a proponent of this with his concept of Odd. Eliphas Levi wrote on this with his idea of... It's claimed that that's what his idea of astral light and meh was. Blavatsky highly appropriated the theories of prana from yoga physiology. Incorrectly. Blavatsky never did anything correctly. I'm just going to put that there. But this was also a time when anthropology and ethnology discovered the Polynesian concept of mana, and Asiatic scholars were starting to concern themselves with the idea of ki in China. These latter two, alleged by the author, go to show that the idea of subtle energies used by magic is far older than the 18th century, though these things do require context that was not put in this. It is claimed that we can observe it in early iatromantic cultures. Iatromantic magic is frequently a mixture between some form of spirit and energy model, like the shaman may call upon the spirits to give him power, or he may vice versa use it to extort favors. This was the claim put out by this man. In his pure form, the magician is not in need of spirits and other entities in this model. The world is viewed as being vitalized by some form of subtle force or energy, and the primary task consists in mastering the art of perceiving and manipulating energy. As all phenomenon are basically energetic in nature, the existence of an otherworld in this model is not strictly required. So the magician is more of an energy dancer than a fence rider or a go-between. But even here, the key to the perception, charging, and general utilization of these forces is seen in the magical trance, or in the proper chaos magic term, gnosis. Theories and practices pertaining to the energy model can be found with many magical authors, but it's seen real large-scale popularity since the 70s with the influx of Eastern thinking, made concepts such as chakras and kundalini work a mainstay of what was being called occult discipline. Strong energy models can also be found in Bardon's system with electromagnetic fluids and condensators, etc. We can see this move into the radionics and the psionics, which we can then see move forward to omni groups in modern day. It is necessary to say that this does seem to be one of the editors of this did mention, and it still does seem to be seen today as one of the most common forms of magic practiced. I do not personally work with the energy model. I feel that the things that are pointed to in this model, they are very twisted understandings of it to make it fit a definition instead of a definition applying to a phrase. But this is probably the portion with which the most of chaotes and many neo-pagans are most familiar with. So lots of theories are expressed in this way, and that is a system that is commonly still today very used, and when speaking with somebody is important to lay out whether this is what you are doing with it as opposed to these other models. That is it from me for tonight. May your ancestors bring you the sweetest of portents. May you have the most wonderful of dreams. May you all stay warm, and may you all stay safe. Shamu.